Hey, muito tempo. Long time no see. I just been really busy. So sorry there are no videos coming out. Do you know how when you're being pulled from all directions, you're being pulled one arm this way, one arm this way. Someone's pulling your head up like this, and then from another direction they're pulling your leg, and you're like, hey. So that's a good thing. Being busy is a good thing. But I was just antiquing this Neapolitan sort of personal model violin, and I'm really happy with the varnish here, this sort of red. And you can see I got into trouble right here where it's just too much, and I was just able to fix it a little bit with a trick that I'm about to show you. So if you look at the cello behind me, the same thing occurred. And what happened is I'm using, there's a previous video about removing varnish using 50% mineral spirits and 50% alcohol. So that's what I got here. I got sans odor in Espanol, and I've already got it mixed. So what happened is I was going a little bit aggressive in that spot because this is a point of contact in here and here, and it just all of a sudden whoosh, it's gone, and it looked fake. So I was able to fix it a little bit by doing the following. And you also want to be careful doing this because I will explain in a second. So here it still is. It doesn't look real. It looks like a violin maker took straight alcohol and just went at it. And then he was like, ah! I'm sure this has happened to you, where it just looks fake. So your only choice is to try to soften around here and make it look not so clinical. And this is just really hard, So one trick I do is I take the rag this is still like not wet, but kind of damp, And then I find a clean spot on it, and I just soften up the areas around here. You see? I don't know if you can see this. This is where you're just being really careful, right? So it's not wet, but it's also not dry, and you're just like pointillism, Right, so the idea is to get this like less aggressive. You see, this is like geometrical. I mean, I really screwed up. The thing about the mineral spirits and alcohol is it's less aggressive. It works with pressure, so you'll find that you put quite a lot where the rag is quite wet. Let's just do it now. The rag can be quite wet and nothing will happen. Because it's not the actual liquid. I mean, the liquid kind of softens the surface. So that's straight up, right? The rag is very moist now. So while the varnish is now like soft, you can do something to it. You can, let's say you want to add some scars, right? Which I also need here. Very faint, not pressing too hard. Let's do the same thing here. I want that. It does not look real right here. This looks terrible. This is I think the worst part. So the trick, the whole point of this video is that, and you gotta be careful. So now you take a pigment that is close to your varnish itself, and you put it on the damp rag. And you just kind of fade in. This is way too much, I can tell, I can already tell. But what happens is the pigment goes into the soft area of varnish, and it kind of disguises your stupidity. So, that's way too much. It will disguise your stupidity. So you kind of get a second chance. So then I take like a paper towel and so can you see? I don't know if you can see. It's looking a little bit better, and then you have a sort of red here to this still does not look real, you know? The front is a little bit better. The front is a little bit more convincing. And then here you have the same issue where it just does not look real. It's too much. The transition from worn part where it's down to the yellow ground into here is too intense. You just can't, it doesn't look too bad. But anyway, that's the trick. You're taking the rag, you're softening, just softening the areas that you want to change with 50% mineral spirits and 50% pure alcohol. And then you're sort of doing what you want. Your scars, your patina. So, and once it's dry, which it dries pretty quick, put a nice, like, hefty amount of Van Dyke Brown and just do the whole thing. So now where I touched with the rocks is going to be right. So yeah, it's really easy to get into trouble, and that cello back there, it's been like that for, I guess, like 6 months. Okay, so this looks fake again. The scars look fake. You see where I put the rock? It looks real. So this is a disaster, you know? I may be able to still fix it, but Super Nico for cleaning. It's a great product. Yeah, you can see how here I just did the Van Dyke Brown, and it doesn't want to go away. So that's why you have to be careful, because you're putting pigment into soft varnish, and that can be a disaster, because it will. I mean, you're basically put this very fake looking color into your wet. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is it looks terrible. It really looks terrible. It looks fake. You see how it's just all this is, and that happens. The other option is to strip it and start over. But I'm happy with the front, so so what I'm gonna have to do is somehow soften this area, remove more, and blend it, somehow blend it and make it look better, because that's just terrible. It looks like a complete amateur. A complete amateur came in and just, most makers, they use pure alcohol instead of mixing it with mineral spirits, and boy is I've seen some real disasters. But yeah, so that's the trick. That's one trick to fix your disasters. And yeah, one other thing to do is to just go really aggressive. Okay, this violin is 300 years old, and you can go all the way down to the wood and then use ferrous sulfate. Ferrous sulfate will turn the wood itself a kind of gray black, like, you know, like Egyptian wood. Like that mask behind me. That is sort of that color. But you have to be careful with ferrous sulfate, because it would just turn it will turn it black in this area. So yeah, that's the trick. I mean, good luck, you know. I can still rescue this, you know, because I haven't really, if I fade in here, it's going to be difficult. And now I have some lentils cooking, and those are ready. So what I'm going to do is stop. It's another good trick is to stop. If you're getting all this craziness and then you're panicking and doing crazy things, you're going to just ruin it again. So come back after some good curry lentils with a really fresh brain, and just do very fine detailing, you know, millimeter by millimeter, and maybe you can rescue it. Maybe. Okay, so that's it. Ciao.